All right, so we can go ahead and get started. So to close out our 2022 Kids Go STEM program, we have some special guests with us today. We're very excited to introduce to you three University of Iowa student athletes who are all studying in STEM fields. So today we have Logan Cook, Jay Higgins, and Kirsten Jurgerson. So everyone give them a wave and say hi. They will be
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
they'll be talking about their experience studying STEM and participating in college athletics, balancing a demanding schedule while remaining successful, overcoming setbacks or obstacles, and any advice that they have for you all. So we welcome you to submit any questions you have for these athletes in the chat, and then we will try to answer as many as we can at the end. So we can go ahead and get started. Could each of you please share just your hometown, your year in college, your sport, and your major? We can go ahead and start. Kirsten, you can go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kirsten. I grew up in a small town called Wilton, Iowa. It's about 30 minutes east of Iowa City. I am currently a senior. I'm on the rowing team and I'm studying mathematics for secondary education. So to be a junior high or high school teacher.
Awesome. And then Jay, you can go ahead too.
Hi, I'm Jay Higgins. I'm a sophomore. I play football. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm a biology major and I plan to be a wildlife biologist.
Awesome. Jay, we had a question or a question to me. What position do you play in football?
I play linebacker.
Gotcha. Awesome. And then Logan?
Hi, my name's Logan. I'm a senior on the basketball team. I'm from Iowa City, Iowa, and my major is human physiology. I'm on the pre-physician assistant track, and then I have a minor in business.
So when you were in middle school, what did you want to do for a career? And what do you want to pursue now after graduation from Iowa? I know you guys already kind of said that, but has it changed that much? We can just go back in the same order. Sorry.
Okay, sounds good. Mine has definitely changed. At first, like in middle school and high school, I wanted to do something in the healthcare facilities, like being like a child life specialist was what I thought I wanted to do. I then job shadowed and realized it wasn't a career that I wanted to pursue any longer. And then I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do after that. I like talked with my advisors on campus and realized I had a passion for education. And all throughout high school, I really liked math and just like learning more about the subjects of math. So I decided to pursue a degree in math, which I never thought I would ever do. But here I am. And yeah, so I guess after graduation, I would like to be a middle school math teacher. I wouldn't say that's like my end goal, but that's the goal currently.
Awesome. And then Jay?
I always had like a fascination for animals ever since I was little. So I kind of knew like the field I wanted to go to when I was in middle school. I really didn't have like a job title, and I really don't think that's important in middle school, just having something that you like learning about. And for me, just understanding like the importance of football and education, like school is better when you want to be there and you want to learn. So I made sure I picked a field that I would be happy to learn about.
Awesome.
Yeah, for me, I was kind of torn between business or the healthcare track. And so that's kind of where my business minor comes in place, where I can fall back on that if for some reason I want to go that route. But something about healthcare I was just really drawn to. And part of that was just all the job shadows I did. So I've kind of been deciding between pharmacy, PA, or OT. Luckily, a lot of them require the same prereqs in undergrad. So when you get to college, if you do 4 years of undergrad, you kind of get to choose which classes you want to take for grad school if you want to do grad school in your future. And so I kind of chose to take just a very broad range that covers all of them. So now as a senior, I can kind of decide, which grad program I want to apply to. I don't know if I recommend doing it that way. I just didn't really think about it much until I got to college. So I'd recommend like you guys at the age you're at, to really just pick a track you want to go on and just attack all those classes that you're going to do in college.
Awesome. And then our next question that we have is, what is your favorite thing to learn about or study in college? And then what do you enjoy most about being a college athlete?
My favorite thing to learn about and study, I really enjoyed learning about like how to be a great math teacher, like the strategies and tools that I have been learning about has been really fascinating. My professors are really great in the education and math fields here at the University of Iowa. So I'm very grateful to like learn from them and just learn all the different weird sub areas of math that I never knew existed. Have been kind of fun too. What do I enjoy most about being a college athlete? I would just say, I mean, not everyone gets to do like what we get to do every day. We get to compete alongside teammates that who become like your lifelong friends, and I'm very grateful that that's been the case for me. Yeah, I just enjoy being with my team and growing in those relationships, and there's so many things that are like we get to receive as a student athlete. There's a lot of different services that were provided, so that's been awesome to just be supported in that role. And yeah.
My favorite thing to study right now is really human impacts on the environment and how that affects animals. So just like looking at like the footprint we leave behind and how that affects environments and how like we as humans like really change the face of the world. Like even though if we don't think about it sometimes, and how that changes habitats for animals. And then my favorite part of being an athlete is also just like the support system we have that normal students don't have. And just like simple things like picking up your books or needing a tutor, like the way athletes go about that is much easier for us to get our hands and like ask for help. And also just like playing Kinnick and like being a part of like the great traditions obviously are like really fun too.
My favorite class to study is probably biology. I took AP biology in high school my senior year, and so just kind of expanding on that. There's about 3 different biology classes I've taken in undergrad, so it's kind of nice when information starts repeating itself and you kind of are like, yeah, I've learned that, and then you can build on top of that. So I definitely like biology, I like chemistry. Just when it comes to being a student athlete, I love kind of the growth it requires of you from moving from high school to college, and just like time management. You have to learn that. You have to learn how to stay on top of your studies while also putting in the work to each of your practice schedules. And yeah, like Kirsten said, we have tutoring services, which is helps a lot. So just making sure you're staying on top of both your academics and your performance in your sport.
Awesome. And then what sparked each of your guys' interest early on in studying or pursuing a STEM profession?
I think the thing that like even in middle school when I thought I wanted to be like a child life specialist, just like the thought of like helping people, being able to like share my love for like the STEM related like topics. Yeah, I don't really know exactly why I chose math, honestly. But it was just always something interesting to me in high school. But yeah, I would just say like being able to like share that with other people. I have a love for it, and it's not everyone loves the subjects of STEM, which is sometimes unique. So I think just like sharing that with other people.
I would say for me, I grew up with horses, and I was like really close to the horses, and I like the idea of just like taking care of animals and things like that, and just like learning and being up close and personal. So I always had this like attachment to wanting to learn more about animals. So I just, when I came to Iowa, I finally had like a platform where I could learn about, you know, animals on a scientific field.
Yeah, I think you just have to really think about like kind of what you're starting to already at your age like to learn about in your classes. And for me, I could even tell like even in elementary, I really like science, and so I just kind of kept expanding on that. And I think it's also a good idea, like once you get to high school or once you get to college, to like mix in a few other non-science courses. So I took a few creative writing courses in college that I really enjoyed. And so that was kind of a good break from all the science aspect I was getting, and to be able to just even throw in a shoot. Have I been muted this whole time?
No, just that those couple words.
Okay. Yeah. So just I think it's a good idea to really think about what classes you're already starting to like to learn right now, and then throw in a few other fun classes to get your mind moving in another way.
Awesome. So the next question that we have is, you're all studying STEM fields and participating in college athletics, which are both extremely demanding, as you know. There's a lot of pressure on today's students and even at the middle school level to be involved in sports, extracurriculars, volunteering, and succeed in academics, which can be challenging. So how do you all balance your schoolwork, your athletics, and any other extracurricular activities that you have outside of your sports?
For me, I think just being involved in other things allows me to manage my time better. I remember in like high school when I wasn't in a sport, I found myself like not staying on top of my homework as well, just because I didn't have a strict schedule to follow. It was like all on my own kind of. So I would definitely say like being in athletics has helped me stay on top of my stuff, because there's only certain hours in the day that I can do homework. So I have to maximize that time. Um, I do remember like freshman year, I really liked to say yes and be involved in a lot of different activities, and found myself pretty overbooked. So I think it's good to be involved in things, but also like know your boundaries in that, and like don't overbook yourself, because I think it's easy to like want to be involved in all the things that you're passionate about, but I found myself like not being able to give like full 100% to each thing I was in. So I would say like pick your top like 3 things that you really want to do, and like try to give, all yourself to those 3 things. But
For me, just the idea of like when I'm playing football, I'm focused on football, and that's has my full divided attention. And then when I'm a student, I'm 100% a student at the time. And just understanding that those two things are very important, meaning that like you need to give your time to both. And for me, like just balancing my daily schedule, having a daily schedule that I stick to, and leaving like room for error. So just like knowing if I woke up at 5:15, that studying at 8 o'clock for my test the next day probably won't be beneficial. So just knowing how to like know how you work, like know how you study best, and make sure you leave time like during the day and don't push things to the end. Like just I like to play Fortnite. Like a lot of players like to play Fortnite. So I kind of use that as a reward if I get all my work done. And I know if I get to 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock and my homework's not done, then I can't play with my friends. So that's kind of how I like balance my daily schedule.
Yeah, kind of going off what Jay said, our head coach, she's right there. Sorry, I'm in our team locker room, so there's kind of a mural behind me, but she always says, "Be where your feet are." And like Jay was saying, like if you're in practice, don't be thinking about school, don't be thinking about what exam you have, because there's practices where you have to go straight from practice to a really tough exam, and you have like 30 minutes to get there. So just kind of being where your feet are. And then once you get to that exam, don't think about like, oh, I had a tough practice, or I didn't perform my best that day. Like just be focused on that class that you're in. And that also goes toward like when you're hanging out with your friends, be present with your friends and have fun. Don't be thinking about practice or school again, and just enjoy, where your feet are at each time.
Yeah, definitely. So have you ever faced setbacks such as an injury, a poor grade on a project or exam, anxiety, or anything else? And if so, how did you overcome that?
thankfully I've never been injured yet, knock on wood. But I have faced like having like a tough exam that I didn't do very well on, that I thought I had prepared enough, but I didn't. But I think I really just had to like reset my mind and not let that like one grade define me, and know that I could like bounce back from that. So it is like hard. It's kind of defeating when you like realize what you did wasn't quite good enough. But yeah, just like kind of leaving that in the past and just learning from it, and yeah, just doing your best to, I don't know, bounce back and recover, I guess.
Definitely.
For me, I did something with my leg. Like I pulled my hamstring freshman year, and I couldn't play in a spring ball game, which is like really cool because we invite fans in the Kinnick, and like for 8 weeks we just practice with each other. So letting fans come to see that final game is like a big thing. I wasn't able to play in that, and I was kind of upset because I feel like I wasted 8 weeks of working out. But just like I said before, like the support staff and like the people you have in your corner, they're always going to keep you happy. They're always going to like support you. And that goes like education as well. Just knowing that like I like had a bad test, I didn't do really good, so I made sure I emailed my counselor and I got a tutor. And just like going to the tutor all semester and seeing my grade climb to where it should be. Just the idea of that if you want to be better at something, you need to train, and you can look at that in sports and education. So
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually currently injured right now, so I've been walking around with a walking boot on, but it's definitely been an adjustment, but it's kind of also been an area that I've grown a lot and just realized that now is a time where I need to be really supportive of my teammates and cheer them on, and catch up on my studies when I can. So I'd just say I have dealt with injury. I did go at probably my first 2 years, I was dealing with a little bit of like anxiety and nerves heading into the season. And I think what helped me with that is probably just realizing like it's a team sport, and you're playing with your best friends, and they're always going to be there for you, and they're always going to um, be someone you can talk to, and they'll cheer you on. So just realizing, you have someone to your left and your right that's 100% there for you, and yeah, supportive.
Awesome. So then we have one more question, and then we're going to open it up to all of the kiddos to ask some questions. So our participants with us today are interested in STEM careers, and it's a wide range that we had today. What advice do you have for them as they prepare for high school and beyond?
The one piece of advice that I could think of was something that I had to continuously remind myself of when I decided to pursue math. I was really easily overwhelmed by the fact that I had to take all of these really hard math classes, and I was easily like really kind of nervous for those. But I just had to remember that you aren't going to know everything right away. It's going to take time to learn, and your teachers and people are around you to help you learn those things. So just take it like step by step, class by class. Like don't think about all the things that you have to accomplish, but just like focus on that one thing, and make it the best you can do. Just like Logan was saying, like be where you are and just focus on that one thing. Don't, kind of like zone in on that one thing, not really looking at the huge picture all the time, which is good to do. But, like when you're thinking about classes wise, I would just definitely say just like focus on the one class you are now and not have to worry about all of the things that you're going to have to do like in the future, which can be overwhelming.
I would definitely say develop like good study habits early in your high school career. Like high school will be a lot easier if you just stay up on your grades, and you start off with a really good GPA, and you can just stay at a good state from there. And just know like there's going to be a lot of stuff going on just with sports as well, and just know like why you're there in high school, and good grades will always like help your your performance in sports. They go hand in hand.
I'd probably say if your high school offers AP courses, to try to take as many of those as possible. Just because once you get to college, like I was amazed by how much classes they were like, oh, you don't have to take this because it counted, your high school uh, course counted for it, and so that helped a lot. And then I'd just say, like, really work on just retaining the information that you're receiving every day. Like, I promise the stuff you're learning now, you'll probably even repeat learning in college, even though it's probably something so simple. Um, but yeah, just also just working on your study habits. And yeah, that's all.
Awesome. So we can open it up to any kids. If you want to ask any questions, you can put them in the chat. You can directly message me. I know I had a few questions. Logan, what position do you play on the basketball team?
I play the backup, forward, and post.
Gotcha. I'm scrolling through. How long have each of you been participating or playing in your sports?
My situation is pretty unique. I never rowed before I came to college, which is common for a lot of people on my team. So I've only been rowing for 4 years.
Awesome.
I've been playing football since like first grade, maybe. Started with flag and then developed into a full pad. So it's been a while.
I'd probably say second or third grade I started.
Awesome. Did you all play any other sports when you were younger in middle school and high school?
I played basketball in up until junior high. Volleyball and track and cross country are the sports I did in high school.
High school, I played basketball and football, but just in middle school, I did basketball, football, track, baseball, kind of just like playing everything I could.
I did soccer and dance.
Awesome. If anyone, Gage, I see you can unmute yourself if you want to ask a question.
What?
Did you have a question, Gage?
Well, actually, now that I can tell that from the beginning my microphone wasn't working, I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, okay. That's okay. All right. Does anyone else have what do you all like to do in your free time?
I really like to spend time with my friends, just like hanging out, playing games. I'm trying to think what else we do. I don't know. Just hanging out with my friends, basically. My roommates, they're pretty cool people. I think that's something special in college that you get to have, is like multiple roommates, and that's really fun to just be with them.
Yeah, I would just say like go over teammates' houses and stuff like that, and just like play video games. So I guess that's hanging out with them as well, just through a mic. So
Yeah, I'd say I also like hanging out with teammates. You would think we see each other enough at practice, but believe it or not, we like to hang out with each other basically all day. And then I like to read, go on walks, and watch TV.
Awesome. And then I have a question that was submitted for Jay. What is your favorite animal, and what are you planning to do with your animal biology degree? Are you going to become a vet or a zookeeper? And this person who submitted it said that they want to be a zookeeper.
I'd probably say my favorite animal is just like the lion, but like just like all of them, just like how they interact with each other. Just like their the way they have this hierarchy of like who's in power and who does what. I think that's really cool. I like how they can communicate that. For me, luckily I'm a sophomore, so I don't really know what I want to do with it yet. But I did look into a vet, and I think I'm gonna do some internships here this summer. at a vet, just to see like if I like it or not. But just like traveling the world to like study animals, that'd probably be a really dream come true.
Awesome. And then someone asked, do you have part-time jobs outside of school?
I currently do not. I work in the summer at daycare sometimes. Freshman year, I had a job because I like to say yes a lot of times, but I realized that was too much. So I do not anymore, but in the summer, I do.
I would just say like being a University of Iowa athlete, that's sometimes a job. So I'll go with that.
Yeah, definitely.
I worked at Hy-Vee Pharmacy my junior year of college, and then this year I work in at the Stead Family Children's Hospital in the patient library. So that kind of just entails delivering like books, iPads, Xbox games to the children, and whatever floor they're on in the hospital, and just getting to say hi to them and deliver those items from the library that they request.
Yeah, that's cool. There's a lot of questions about video games. So someone just asked if any of you guys play video games. I think Jay, you said you did, but Kirsten and Logan, do you? No. Okay, I think that is all the time that we have. So thank you, Logan, Jay, and Kirsten, for taking time out of your busy schedule to share your experience and advice with all of us. I think everyone can really learn a lot about, especially, I really liked that quote, Logan, that Coach Bluter says about be where your feet are. I think that's something everyone can relate to, even no matter what the age is. And then seeking help when you need it, learning about setbacks and becoming better because of it. And just developing good study habits early on. I know that's something that I wish I did. And so I think that's something that everyone that's on this Zoom today can learn too.